This is my beautiful prickly pear, or Opuntia, and I have been waiting for the perfect time to harvest some prickly pears, and it looks like we're finally there. They have a sort of magenta hue to them now. This is in the shade, but it's a beautiful, vibrant color. And I noticed that one has fallen off down here, so I think we're ready to go. So these have not just the spines on the leaves themselves, they also have them on the fruit. I don't know if I can focus in on this. So I've seen people harvest with salad tongs, so that's what I'm gonna do. Apparently, if you grab by the salad tong and twist gently, you can just pull it off. And that did work very well. So I'm gonna harvest these, and then I'm gonna try peeling them and using some of the fruit and juice. I'm gonna be straining to make sure I get rid of any spines that might be left in there. And we'll see what this tastes like. I've heard some people describe it as watermelon, and some people describe it as strawberry and weird dirty watermelon, and somewhere in between strawberry and watermelon, so I guess we'll see. So that's a pretty good harvest, I would say, for my one little Opuntia. I'm really impressed. I think I've had this 3 or 4 years now. I'm in zone 9B in Victoria, British Columbia. So now I'm going to try to process it so we can try it. So first I have to wash them off, and then I'm going to try peeling them to get the outer layer of skin off that has the tiny little spines in it, which just stick in your skin and they stay for days and days. And obviously I don't want that in my mouth either. So from the videos I've seen, you basically have to cut one end off and the other end off, and then take a thin layer off all the way around, because the skin is not really edible based on these little spines that stick up all the way around. Some people burn these off with a torch, but I'm not going to be doing that. So I'm just going to cut all the way around and expose the pulp in the middle. I've already encountered some seeds when I was rinsing, because some of them are open at the end. You can see these seeds here that are spilling out of some of them here. Apparently these seeds are not really that digestible, and they're kind of annoying, so I guess that's why most people strain the fruit after they get this outside layer off. You can really see all these spines here. So that's what it's looking like on the inside here. There's a lot of seeds. I don't actually see much flesh to eat. This is gonna be interesting. So there's not really much left from this one. This is all the stuff I'm throwing away, and I'll have to get rid of these seeds too, I guess. I think I'm gonna try crushing them and seeing if I can get juice out of them instead, because this doesn't seem to be working very well. But I'll have to strain the stuff even after that to make sure there's no spines. So this one looks a little more juicy. I've just thinly cut every side of this to take the outside spiny part off, and I cut the ends off. This has got a bunch of seeds in the middle. But I'm gonna try the juicing method. I just saw somebody put it in the blender and then strain it after, so I think I'm just gonna try that, and we'll see what it tastes like. That's really interesting. It tastes sort of like a tropical fruit, almost like a guava or mango or papaya or something, but sort of less strong of a flavor, and almost a bit like a cantaloupe. The seeds are really, really hard, so you basically have to spit those out. So this will probably be a better juice anyways. So I've done several of these, and you can see I haven't got very much out. I can feel spines in my hand, even though I have a glove on it. Maybe I'll learn a different method that's less labor intensive next year. I don't know. There are so many left to go. This is taking forever. I really hope it'll be worth it. So I think part of the problem I'm having is that people with these recipes have these giant prickly pears, either from the desert, or one guy said he got it from the grocery store. And we don't have that here. And my prickly pears are these cute little, like a large grape size. So I'm definitely not getting much off, and I have so many more to go, but I mean, it's not going to be much of a filling. Yes, this is labor intensive. I have gone through my whole bowl. This is what I'm left with to blend, and the seeds are going to be strained out, so I don't think I'm going to have much in here. In one of the videos I watched, the person put it with a bit of honey and lime juice, and there was water that they added too. I don't know. I'm going to see how it is plain, but I'm going to have to strain it through, so I don't think there's going to be much juice left. I'm going to add a bit of water to help blend it up. I'm just going to put it into my Vitamix, which is just what I happen to have for a blender. This is all the stuff that's being thrown away. Seeds, spines, the ends. I mean, it's a lot of waste. I think it must be better if you have bigger prickly pears, and maybe you get those when the prickly pear or Opuntia is older, or maybe in the climate it's intended to be in a more deserty area. I'm on the west coast of British Columbia, so I'm not in a desert zone. I'm in zone 9B, so who knows? I mean, I'll see what it's like next year. Last year, they didn't ripen and they just fell right off of my cactus. And this year they ripened and they were really nice, so maybe next year it'll be even better. So I'm going to dump it into the blender and get blending. So I've got it in the blender. I'm going to add a bit of water, 3/4 of a cup. Let's see how that does. And I'm going to blend it up. So I ended up putting it on the shake or smoothie setting that they have on Vitamix, and it seems to have really demolished the seeds quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this through a strainer, and then I'm going to run it through a second strainer to see if there's any lingering spines or pieces of seed, and then we'll see what happens. I just have a strainer over a measuring cup. I have to wonder if some of the reason I have so much liquid is just because I added water. I have no idea what this is going to taste like, considering it looks like it did consume a lot of the seeds. I guess maybe that'll give me some kind of protein? I don't know. Now, you're supposed to sort of go back and forth on this to get it to go through. You can see in the bottom here it's got some that's come through. And just push that through, except for whatever is too big to go through. Then I'm going to put it through a second strainer, because those spines that I saw when I was peeling the prickly pears were kind of terrifying. I would not want one of those stuck in my throat or mouth, or the children. I have 3 children, so we're all going to try a little bit of this and see how it tastes. When we were trying the prickly pear earlier, we were all trying to decide what it tastes like. It's funny, my son said that it tasted like sandy watermelon. My husband thought maybe it was somewhere between passion fruit and honeydew or cantaloupe. I thought sort of cantaloupe and kind of papaya, mango, passion fruit, something tropical. And my other daughter thought sort of like a watermelon. So, I don't know. Maybe the taste is in the eye of the beholder. So here's the grit from the seeds that didn't get ground up here. And who knows, maybe there's some spines in there too. So I'm going to run this through a second strainer now. Let's see how much is in here. Yeah, I mean, it's not tons of juice there. It's a bit to try though. I guess it'll be enough to get an idea of what it tastes like and to see if this is worth doing next year. I've got a second strainer ready to do a second straining on this liquid. Okay, this is the second straining, and there's definitely much less left behind, but there's definitely still some grit from seeds, hopefully not spines. So I've strained it through again, and I mean, this is a big measuring cup, but you know, there's not as much as you would hope from a whole bowl full of prickly pears. We'll see what this tastes like. Right now it smells like watermelon to me, kind of like watermelon candy. So that's really got a neat color. It's sort of a beautiful raspberry color. And it's quite watery, obviously, because I added the water to it. I'm going to give this a try. Look at that color. Isn't that beautiful? It's interesting. It's kind of sweet, but I don't know, sort of earthy. I kind of agree with that guy's assessment of the gritty watermelon, or my son's assessment of sandy watermelon. I think it'd be better if it was colder, and now I see why people were adding lime and honey and stuff. But it is pretty sweet, so you probably wouldn't need a sweetener. I don't know. I might try this again next year, but hopefully I'll find a better method. Anyways, bon appetit. I just iced this and had it again, and it's kind of like passion fruit mixed with maybe cantaloupe or honeydew melon. It's really strange. It's so annoying when you can't find the words to describe the flavor of something. I guess you just have to try it for yourself.